Welcome to the True Health Tuesday on Heavy Metal Detox Part 2. Now, question 1 from Grow Younger Now. Thanks always. When you talk about peppermint oil, are you referring to peppermint essential oil? Absolutely. Organic essential oil of peppermint. Absolutely fantastic. Essential oils are amazing, antioxidant. They have multiple therapeutic properties, but peppermint oil, make sure they're all organic. That's going to make a big difference. Now, please subscribe to our channel. That'll help us grow. Like this video and share this vital life-saving information. Let's change the world. Question 2 from Little Kaza. Hi, Doc. Your dedication to healing the planet is just wonderful. How do I use bentonite clay, peppermint, and cacao? I'm assuming ingested, but wanted to check. Yes, absolutely. And this is one of the coolest, easiest way to introduce to children and people who have sensitive taste buds. You mix it up in the form of a pudding, and you just take it very, very simply. Just, have it directed by somebody who understands its use. Typically, it's going to be a teaspoon or a tablespoon several times a day, but I totally recommend you do a live blood cell analysis to gauge at how well it's working, because this will help detox the system. And it's very, very good. Benign. Use it sparingly because it is amazing and very effective. But yeah, it kind of tastes a little, if you mix it up right, kind of like chocolate pudding with a little bit of peppermint. From Kelly Powell, question 3. You think taking food grade Diatomaceous Earth will help detoxify my body from heavy metals? It will help, but a lot of heavy metals can be embedded in a lot of different tissues. And then look at the heavy metal exposure. If it's coming from dental amalgams, if it's coming from coal plants or industrial manufacturing, it can be embedded deeply. You may have to do something more than just oral chelation. You may have to do IV chelation, but it's important that you use a live blood cell analysis to see the health of the blood. And then look at the other 4 detox pathways as well: respiration, perspiration, bowel movements, and urination. So it is a very, very good way to do it. Do it sparingly, do it with intent, and make sure you have an objective analysis to make sure it's working. Now, question 4. Oh, this is really, really good. Okay, from Christine Chatham. I have a Berkey water filter, but a water treatment guy tested it in front of me. The TDS, total dissolved solids, reading was higher on my Berkey than tap water, so I'm confused. Yeah, TDS, I see this a lot. Now, this is the total amount of minerals and salts presence. It's not just toxic particulate matter. So this is a really cool article from Berkey Filters. Quote, our bodies need beneficial minerals that are naturally found in water. However, they do not need to be harmful substances like mercury and copper. Total dissolved solids. The TDS meter can alert you to the presence of minerals and chemicals in your water. It cannot distinguish between good and bad. Using a TDS meter on Berkey filter can give you a high reading for total dissolved solids. That does not mean your water has contaminants. Now, these devices tell you about your drinking water's total dissolved solids. However, it's not the best way to calculate how healthy your water is. It's important you choose a filter that removes the dangerous solids without removing the minerals you need. In the water filtration system we have at our office, we actually add minerals to it, so the TDS meter will read high. Now, here's a way how to test your water filter. You can run a simple red dye test to ensure your Berkey water filter is still working. For best results, use McCormick's red dye, which has a pure chemical composition. Follow these steps to conduct the test. Number 1, take off the upper container and remove the remaining water, if any. Take off the fluoride filters. You'll be putting them back on later. Empty the lower container and put a clear glass underneath the black filter stems. Place the upper chamber over the corresponding clear glass. Mix an eighth teaspoon of red dye per gallon in the upper chamber. Pour the dyed water into each upper container. Don't put the dye in directly in the filters or on the filters. After the dyed water filters, examine the clear glasses. Do you see a reddish or pinkish tint? That means the filter failed. Replace the filters that failed the test. Now, I encourage you to check out this video or this article, and it's amazing, amazing. Okay, that talks about the TDS meter and Berkey water filters. Question 5 from Robin Hunt. Hey, Dr. B, have you heard of NBMI or OSR for detoxing of mercury? Oh boy, have I. My dentist took out my amalgams and said I should get this, but it's $800. One of the things we're going to get into detail what this is. It's very effective. 800 seems a little bit pricey, but let's get into what this is because it's incredible. Now, NBMI is also known as OSR number 1. It's not FDA approved and still being studied for its efficacy and potential side effects. Okay, here's a recent study out of the Journal of Toxicology and Environmental Chemistry. Quote, herein we report that such a chelator, such as NBMI, and using an animal model showed that it prevented toxic effects associated with acute exposure to injected mercury chloride. This study supports the dose-dependent ability of the NBMI to significantly reduce mercury concentrations, particularly in the urine in an acutely exposed mercury population, human population. The NBMI therapy should be evaluated in other mercury-exposed populations. Now, mercury chelation. Whatever came of this? Now, here's a brilliant article by a dentist, Dr. David C. Kennedy. Quote, NBMI, once known as OSR number 1, goes by the generic name Emeride, proprietary name Emerex in the EU. Now, counterfeit versions from unregulated suppliers, which has been sold on the internet since 2010, carry the warning label, not for human consumption, may be contaminated. Emerimed's products made in the U.S. is pharmaceutically pure with virtually no contamination, unlike some other counterfeits. This will readily dissolve in 95% ethanol or DMSO. Now, I really encourage you to read this article. By 1995, Haley had begun to envision the ideal mercury chelator, a compound that chemically binds to a metal ion at 2 or more points to facilitate the elimination. He came up with 7 different points. Number 1, it has to be totally non-toxic. It has to be made from natural substances that allow sale as a dietary supplement. Uncharged and lipid soluble in order to cross biomembranes in the blood-brain barrier, which is hugely important, so as to enter all cells and organelles of the body to which mercury could migrate. Number 4, it has to be capable of forming strong thermodynamically irreversible semicovalent bonds with the toxic metals to eliminate the toxicity upon binding and thereby preventing redistribution. Number 5, minimally attracted to essential metals to prevent their depletion. And this is a major toxic effect of most charged chelators. Number 6, it has to be chemically inert and harmless even after binding to a toxic metal. And number 7, has to be effectively excretable with and without a bound metal through the bile and bowel and through naturally occurring cytochrome P450 detoxification system so as to prevent buildup in any organ or cell. NBMI meets all these 7 requirements. So it is phenomenal, particularly when you're looking at a heavy metal poison population. Now, Dr. Kennedy goes on to say NBMI is not yet available through FDA approval, remains chimeric when NBMI is finally available, it is expected to provide significant benefits for any chronic illness involving oxidative stress, which is a sizable target indication because virtually every disease known has an oxidative stress component. By treating oxidative stress in general and heavy metal toxicity in particular, NBMI removes the body's impediments to healing, thereby allowing reversal of symptoms in many cases. You're detoxing, baby. NBMI on its own, however, does not reverse acquired damage such as tissue loss or scarring. The chronically injured patient will need a personal recovery plan addressing genetic and metabolic hurdles, as well as safe removal of mercury dental amalgams, such as the IAOMAT, safe mercury removal technique. And this is hugely important. This is why at my clinic in Tijuana, we actually have the safe mercury amalgam removal. And it is a process. Not all holistic dentists practice it. Now, if your question wasn't answered here, because we do have to self-censor, check out the drbvip.com where I can go in and speak a little bit more freely. But I hope this was really helpful. If you got heavy metal exposure, and most people do, make sure you eliminate it safely.